inside the tiny nucleus. This process of coiling gives rise to the chromatid structure. It's a thread-like mesh that we find in the nucleus of a metabolically active cell. The chromatids gain a typical classical structure which looks somewhat like this. It's seen during cell division. And these are nothing but the chromosomes. But tell me, do all chromosomes look exactly like this? Do all the 46 chromosomes look the same? If yes, then why do we say that there are 23 pairs of chromosomes? What helps us categorize these chromosomes as pairs? Well, all chromosomes are not exactly like one another. They come in types depending upon their structure or shapes and functions. The first basis for classification is shapes. We know this is the structure of a typical chromosome. And is this a single chromosome? That's right. The difference is that this chromosome is not duplicated, while this one has a duplicated copy attached to itself. So these are the duplicated sister chromatids which are attached to the same chromosome. Now to understand the types, let's first understand the typical structure. Here, these two regions are called the arms of the chromosome. This arm is named as the P arm and this is known as the Q arm. So how do we recognize which is the P and which is the Q arm? Is it based on their positions? No, it depends on the size. The smaller arm is the P arm while the larger one is the Q arm. So this chromosome has one P and one Q arm, while this one has two P and two Q arms. Now let's focus on this chromosome structure. Can you guess what this structure is called to which the arms are attached? Well, this knot-like structure is called centromere. It's the portion of DNA that acts as a link between the two sister chromatids. But that's not its sole purpose. Its major function is the attachment of spindle fibers during the cell division process. And let me tell you one more interesting use of the centromere. It's the position of the centromere that helps us categorize the chromosomes into four types. The four types include metacentric, submetacentric, acrocentric, and telocentric chromosomes. Let's have a look at the structures of each type. Aren't these simple to understand? This one is called metacentric type. As we can see, the centromere is placed almost exactly at the center. The two arms seem almost of the same length. We can say that the centromere is placed somewhat in the middle of the complete structure. Now the next type is the submetacentric. Here, the centromere is placed slightly away from the center. As a result, the two arms of the chromosome appear unequal. The next type is the acrocentric. In this, the centromere is seen almost towards the end region. The term acro in Greek relates to peak. Thus, the name acrocentric refers to the type where the centromere is near the terminal region. Lastly, what we see is that the centromere is present at the extreme end. That is, the centromere is placed at the telomeric region. Hence the name telocentric. However, these chromosomes are not found in humans. The human karyotype lacks telocentric chromosomes. But what is karyotype, you may ask? Well, it's one way of representing all the chromosomes found in a cell. This is how chromosomes are classified on the basis of their structures or shapes, to be precise. Now let's have a look at the other type of classification. This is a much simpler type of classification. Here, the chromosomes are classified whether they are autosomes or sex chromosomes. Now what could these be? This is a representative image of a typical human karyotype. The chromosomes that pair from 1 to 22nd are called autosomes. That is, they are not the sex chromosomes. To be precise, they have got no function to deal with the sex of the individual. The last pair, however, determines the sex of the person. So if the two are identical, that is, both are X and X, then the individual is a female. And what if both are different? In such a case, when one chromosome is X and the other is Y, the individual is a male. This pair is the sex chromosomes. So the chromosomes which help in determining the sex of an individual are sex chromosomes, or even called allosomes.